Welcome back, Knuckleheads. I am Lupine Fiasco, and this is Daily FaB Gameplay. For anyone who's new to the channel, welcome to the jungle. What we do here is review replays of games that I played on the Talishar client days or weeks ago, after enough time has passed, that I lose my bias and can more objectively judge the quality of my play. I will talk through turn cycles and give my thoughts on the line I would take now, compared to the line I took then at the time of recording. We either reinforce good play patterns or identify areas for improvement for the purpose of tightening and improving our gameplay in the future to take down paper events like the upcoming Skirmish and ProQuest season, and, most importantly, walk away with that shiny, shiny cardboard. If you'd like to check out the list I'm playing here or try it for yourself on Talishar, there is a FaB deck link in the video description below. While you're down there, if you haven't already done so, please consider a YouTube subscription. It is the best free way to support me and to make sure that you see daily FaB gameplay in your video feed 5 days a week. The best paid way to support me is through Patreon, and a Patreon link is also in the video description. A Patreon subscription will get you access to the DFG Discord and the shiny, shiny cardboard Talishar card back. At higher tiers, your name will appear in every DFG video, and you could receive bonus DFG content every week. Daily FaB gameplay will always be free 5 days a week, so those who can afford to patronize me, I truly appreciate it. I also now am on X, and if you would like to see memes, inane comments, and the occasional self-promotion, head on over to X and follow Lupine Fiasco. Now, without further ado, let's talk about our sideboard and about our game plan. This Enigma game is a continuation of what I posted last week. This is a rematch with the same opponent, so we learned some lessons certainly, and we are ready to apply them immediately. Having won the die roll, I'm choosing to go second. Again, not sure if first or second in this matchup is correct for Kayo. They both have their advantages. If we go first, we get the ability to set up an arsenal, hopefully something that has go again, so that we are better able to clear Enigma's board, and we can end with an action point to punish her for playing any instant speed auras on our first turn. If we go second, because we are treating this like an aggro matchup, then we have the ability to apply pressure to Enigma's hand and life total before she gets to do it to us. So in theory, we are dealing damage to her before she's dealing damage to us, and we are putting her in lethal range before she can do that to us. Choosing to go second, not sure which is correct. I do know that I would prefer to be playing Sash here and not Tunic, because we are treating this like an aggro matchup and not a mid-range grind. We would like to be able to send a very large Blood Rush turn, or even regular Blood Rush number 4, if we can pair Sash with Go Again in hand and in Arsenal. At the very least, Sash is a get-out-of-jail-free card if Enigma's board gets too big. We have the ability to send that large Blood Rush turn to clear it out. And by big board, I mean multiple copies of Manifestation of Miragai, Rage Spectre, Waxing Vengeance, Waning Spectre, Restless Convalescence, really all of the tools that Enigma can use to protect her manifestations and her Rage Spectres, and even the tools that she can attack us with. Savage Sash is a way to send more damage than she could reasonably block with ward or defense reactions. As far as the cards in the deck, we are bringing Cast Bones out, just not good enough. It does not apply pressure the turn we play it, so it doesn't help us clear out that Manifestation or Rage Spectre, and as we saw in last week's game, it is a miss for our draw discard effect, and if we kept a 4 or 5 hand to try and send multiple chain links to clear out Enigma's board, we want to reduce our chance of bricking that draw discard. I can also talk about send packing, which is out of the deck. Weird choice for a hero that does use her arsenal for defense reactions, but because Enigma has so many D-reacts, she's likely to have them in hand, and if she has enough ward on the table, there is no chance that send packing can hit. And if send packing is not threatening its ability very often, then all it is a 3 for 6, which messes with our cost curve. We would rather play a 2 for 6. And so that is why send packing is out and Clash of Agility is in. Clash also makes that agility that lets us go wider to clear out Enigma's board. That is the name of the game here. We want action points to clear ward off of Enigma's side of the table. Notably, Manifestation of Mirror Guy and Rage Spectre are the two that we want to make sure die. But outside of that, even the Waxing Spectre or Waning Vengeance are going to do damage if left unattended. For Enigma's part, she is just trying to mid-range us out and keep ward on the table so that she can attack us whenever we leave her with cards in hand. And I wouldn't say that she's racing us, but she is certainly not trying to grind us out. So we are going to put on our aggro hat, look for those action points when we have them, and let's submit deck and see if we can do just that. This is a pretty good hand for going second. We can block the Rage Spectre if we need to. We have the windup for agility. Not that we necessarily need it because of pulping, but Enigma runs a density of defense reactions. So even if she does have one in Arsenal, the agility is going to let pulping do pulping things. The hand that we draw into is okay. We are, unfortunately, a blue short of being able to do something like Swing Big, Pulping, Mandible Claw. But at the bare minimum, we can Swing Big, Claw to try and clear this Rage Spectre, or Swing Big Pulping, depending on how Enigma blocks. The first thing we want to do is open with Swing Big, and that takes advantage of our agility. It also means that we don't get punished by sending a Pulping or Wild Ride and discarding that Swing Big. We do want to deal as much damage as possible to force resources away from Enigma and get this Rage Spectre off the table. So at this point, considering that the Rage Spectre is gone, we can send Mandible Claw for 3 by pitching Pulping, and then Arsenal to Wild Ride. And while we are pushing less damage, as well as not getting our might, we are keeping a Go Again attack in our arsenal so that we can hopefully send at least 3 chain links after Enigma builds back her board, which is what she's intending to do by keeping 4 cards and losing that Rage Spectre. Her cost analysis is that she gets more value by rebuilding with 4 cards than by dedicating them to defending the Rage Spectre. And that being the case, we don't need to go ham. We don't care as much about hitting Enigma's life total as we do about making sure that we can hit the ward. Here we have Mistcloak Gully, which is effectively going to cancel out all of our mites as long as Enigma can pitch, play, or defend with a blue every turn, which he should be able to do fairly often. Mistcloak Gully is just going to hang out. Definitely accruing value over the course of a game, but, that's fine. Haze Bending comes out, and without agility, we would have loved to have blocked with Clash here to make an agility. Without it, we are in kind of a weird spot where we could attack with Wild Ride by pitching Blood Rush and, hopefully drawing a blue so that we can follow up with CNC or Clash. At the very worst, we draw into another red and then we just claw. A 4-card 8 isn't exactly where I want to be, so I do think that Blood Rush here is correct to just try and do something rather than having a very unimpactful turn. Ideally, we're holding on to this Wild Ride in Arsenal so that, or at least replacing it with something else that has Go Again, so that we can continue to apply pressure to Enigma's board once she builds it back up. Beast Within, late. We could play Wild Ride from Arsenal and hope to discard this Beast Within, But I don't know what that does for us that is better than just having Wild Ride in Arsenal. What we get to do with this hand is attack with Mandible Claw for 5 with Go Again. Sorry, it should be 4 with Go Again because of Mistcloak Gully. Then follow up with Swing Big for 10. So we're threatening 14 this turn and keeping a Wild Ride in Arsenal. And if we pitched CNC to attack with Wild Ride, the Wild Ride comes in for 6 with Go Again. Then hopefully we discard Beast Within to draw a blue or a yellow, and then we get to attack with Swing Big and Arsenal something. There's a lot of upside to discarding the Beast Within. Problem is, if we don't discard Beast Within, if we discard Swing Big instead, then our follow-up is maybe pitch Beast Within to play a 2 for 6, or pitch it to attack with Claw, and then we Arsenal something that doesn't have Go Again. I think that for our plan of holding on to an action point to clear Enigma's board once it comes back, we are okay taking our 4-card 14 and holding Wild Ride. Then we are maybe getting a little more damage on Enigma's life total, but then not being able to clear the ward once she puts it back up. We just don't want to let Enigma build out ward. We want her to, we want to be able to clear it, because that's how we're going to win this game. Being aggressive, but also being patient to set up and deny her the tools that she needs to kill us. So we're just going to send 14. I mean, Swing Big here for 10, putting Enigma down to 20 if she takes the damage, is pretty dang good. Enigma playing out the Waxing Spectre in order to keep Mistcloak Gully around. Notably, based on Mistcloak Gully's effect, it is better for Enigma not to defend with a blue, because if she defends, pitches, and plays a blue in the same turn, Gully transcends. And I don't think that's what Enigma is trying to do. I don't think she wants that. This way, she also has the blue Waxing Spectre available to attack, which would actually not keep Mistcloak Gully around, but she gets to pitch the Chi for a Battlefront Bastion. So we can think about how we are going to use this hand. We are holding on to a wind-up, which we could discard to make an agility, and that would let us E-strike bottom runner to draw a card. You know, there's some potential upside there. At the same time, we can just keep this hand, take 7 here down to 33, and then play Wild Ride from Arsenal and have a chance to discard Beast Within. Even if we don't discard Beast Within, we, at a minimum, get to Claw E-strike, and that is pretty good to me. So I am okay with just taking the 7 here and keeping 5 cards to clear out Enigma's board. Understandably, we don't hit the Beast Within, but we do get to use Tunic to Mandible Claw, and then Runner. I like playing Runner here, pitching Beast Within, so that we can Arsenal an E-strike, which is less damage than Claw E-strike for 7, but again, keeping action points in our arsenal. I like having the E-strike available for my next turn rather than the Runner, because if I draw 4 cards that don't have Go Again, E-strike helps me convert that hand a lot better. Interested to see what I do with the undo here. I am pretty sure this is going to be the same line. At this point, I believe I was thinking about E-strike for 7, bottom Beast Within. and then rethought that once I realized, hey, you know what's actually a lot cooler than E-Strike for 7 is Runner Runner for 6, but having action points. Interesting. Yeah, I disagree with this line. I think holding on to the E-Strike is a lot better. Yes, we are pushing more damage this turn, which is going to threaten Enigma's arsenal, Enigma's board a lot better, but Enigma gets to survive this turn. She will lose, I believe, the boots. Yep, gives up the boots, gets to keep 2 auras on board, and now we don't have guaranteed go again. And looking at our hand, we don't have go again. So we will get to pitch Assault and Battery to Mandible Claw, discard Mighty Windup, then play Bare Fangs. But let's talk about this blocking, and then once we get back to our turn, we can talk about what happens if we have an E-Strike. This is a situation where I don't mind flesh bagging. Potentially we are disrupting Enigma's Battlefront Bastion or Command and Conquer. There is a decent chance that she just plays Ward from hand. But similar to our last Enigma game, I think it is rarer that we get good flashback opportunities than not. And we have to try to take them when we can. We don't even get punished exactly, as Enigma would have done all of this anyway had we not blocked with Fleshbag, and there is potential upside if Enigma's hand is different and we do hit that Bastion or that CNC. So at this point, the best we can do is Claw Bare Fangs for a total of 12 damage, and we make a Might on the back end. What if we had E-Strike in Arsenal? We would get to E-Strike for 6 go again by bottoming Runner Runner. Then we would get to Bare Fangs for 8. Is there a different line we could take if we had the E-Strike, considering that maybe we still get to discard Mighty Windup to give Claw go again? I don't think so. If we had Tunic, there would be a line here where we could E-Strike Claw Bare Fangs, but the Tunic is not available, so we are a resource short. I just think we would get to convert more damage. We would get 2 more damage here on Enigma that's forcing her to deal with it, as opposed to the 1 extra point of damage we got on our last turn. Is there a reason to play Runner Runner from Arsenal as opposed to pitching 1 from hand? I don't think so. Going for the Scab Skins here as just a Hail Mary, in case we could get a second action point and attack with Bare Fangs first to get that Claw go again. Just the unfortunate situation of not having go again available. Haze Shelter does die to defend this Mandible Claw. Enigma gets a Spectral Shield out of Haze Bending. I don't think it's ever worth killing Haze Bending in this matchup. Much as Enigma can get value out of it, I believe we get more value by sending a Claw at Enigma's face, try to clear Ward, or damage her life total, than we do clearing the Haze Bending. Now, Shimmers is something we have to kill because of how well it pairs with Manifestation of Miragai, but I don't like killing Haze Bending. I don't think we ever need to. So at this point, the most Enigma can do is Spectral Shield for 1. The hand that we draw into is a little tragic. We would love to have a blue here. I think we are probably correct in playing Blood Rush Bellow. Our other line would be to attack with Wild Ride and pitch Blood Rush, and then hope to draw into a blue that lets us Pack Hunt or Bare Fangs. But if we Blood Rush, pitch Pack Hunt, and draw into a blue, then we have a much better turn for trying to deal damage and clear this Miragai off the table. So I think Blood Rush, pitch Pack Hunt is correct. It just feels bad. Hopefully we draw into a blue. So we do find that blue. think about what we want to do with this. I think the line is going to be Wild Ride Runner. Hopefully we play Wild Ride, pitch Riled Up, draw a blue, discard CNC, and then we get to Claw Runner. But even if we just have a red, we get to send, what is this, 18 damage this turn? Which with Enigma on 4 cards and no equipment besides Tunic, there's a really good chance that we get to clear out the board entirely. Depending on how Enigma blocks, we also just have the option to Claw for 5. With Enigma losing her board entirely outside of the Spectral Shield, I think Claw is better. And just know that we have this Runner in Arsenal rather than play the Runner. At the very least, if we keep Runner in Arsenal and then we draw cards that we can't convert completely, we have the option to block with a 6 power attack and Bone Breaker, and then keep 4 cards if we had 2 blues and like a Wild Ride or a Pulping. Enigma gets to Transcend, play second Mirror Guy, and then attack with Mirror Guy and Waxing Spectre for a total of 10. We can give armor to get value out of it, and I think this is okay. I don't hate doing this, just because of how few on-hits Enigma actually plays. I don't think we're going to get punished for blocking with armor for just its value. There is a line here where we block with Bone Breaker and Swing Big in order to make a Might, and on our turn we Wild Ride Tunic Mandible Claw, but that is a mid-range plan. That is not what we are currently trying to do. We want to send as large a hand as we can to clear Enigma's board, so I don't mind holding on to the Swing Big. What I'm probably going to do with this hand is E-Strike Go again Swing Big to send 14 total and just make it difficult for Enigma to protect this manifestation. Currently getting manifestation off of the board is priority 1. We cannot let her keep a 1-card 8. There's a line where we Wild Ride here. I don't necessarily like this line, but we do get to Mandible Claw E-Strike. If we do, the better line would have been keep that blue, Mandible Claw Swing Big. So this is sending more damage. Maybe this is the correct line. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, this is actually much better. I don't know why I thought this was a mistake, because we get to either Claw 7 or 8 Arsenal E-Strike. Yeah, this is much better. I don't know why I just thought that was wrong. So if the most defense that Enigma can have at this point is 8, and that is just putting her on 2 Sink Belows. So because we are committed to clearing this board, we are going to Mandible Claw first, and then possibly E-Strike. The nice thing about Mandible Claw is that it forces Enigma to block, because if she doesn't, she loses the Waxing Spectre and the manifestation. So we can see what she's holding on to. So far she has not pitched a blue, so the Waxing Spectre won't, I guess it wouldn't make a Spectral Shield anyway, because that is not what that card does. So we do get manifestation off the board. Enigma gets to keep the Waxing Spectre, but understandably we are a lot less concerned about that. The hand we draw into does lend itself to Mandible Claw, discard Wind Up, play Bare Fangs, which is what we're going to do. There is no world where I block Spectral Shield for 1. And by discarding Wind Up, we get to... I don't hate this line, but I also don't exactly love it. We get to discard Wind Up and then Arsenal Bare Fangs. Enigma's board is not exactly scary enough where getting it off of the table is the most important thing that we can do. But I do think that we would be a little better off sending 11 here and making agility than sending 7. I would still like the Waxing Spectre off the table, and Enigma is low enough on life that 11 is actually extremely threatening to her. Enigma gets to keep 3 cards. We'll see what she's doing with that. Little baby manifestation. So cute. We are just going to take 5 this turn. Is there a world where we block? I believe the answer is no. With Tunic unavailable, we are not in a position where we could runner, pitch roughshod, claw, discard windup. So as much as I like the idea of refreshing my agility, I probably am going to lead with the Bear Fangs rather than the runner. That is presenting more damage to Enigma. We can also think back to our last turn of arsenaling the Bear Fangs instead of playing it. If Enigma was at 7 less health here, or 4 less health, putting her at 7, and we didn't have this Bear Fangs, well now runner, claw, discard windup looks a lot better. It's threatening lethal, and we get to refresh our agility, which is not something we get to do currently. We play the Bear Fangs, discard Clash, draw into another run roughshod, and we get to decide if we want to Mandible Claw runner or Mandible Claw run roughshod. Either way, we get to see how Enigma blocks or doesn't block, what she's committed to keeping, loses the manifestation to keep a 3-card hand. And because of Haze Bending, the Claw is going to put her to 6 rather than 5, and that locks in my decision where I'm going to send runner instead of run roughshod, because I want a card from Enigma. Even if I'm only getting her Tunic and putting her to 1, the Tunic would be at 3 counters and usable. So runner here gets something from Enigma that she would rather not give us. Run roughshod puts Enigma to 1. We arsenal a runner, and then Enigma gets to keep 3 cards and a Tunic activation. I don't love putting run roughshod in my arsenal because there is a decent chance we just don't get to play it, that we don't have anything that can discard and make it playable. Fortunately for us, that is not the case. We are just going to keep 5 cards here, send the Wild Ride, and hope to discard Beast Within, hope that we just get to kill Enigma this turn. But at the bare minimum, we will be threatening lethal, hopefully getting her entire hand. This line is fine too. We get to discard windup, make my agility, give Claw go again, then use Tunic to Wild Ride, giving Wild Ride a better chance at discarding Beast Within. But even if Wild Ride does not discard Beast Within, we get to pitch Beast Within to play Run Roughshod from Arsenal. So this is good. I like that we are still sending 3 chain links and potentially getting Beast Within value. We do, so we get a choice of whether to send runner or CNC. It doesn't matter because this is lethal damage. And actually, no, this one is not lethal damage. The next one will be lethal damage. We'll send Run Roughshod and Arsenal CNC. This is fine. We have the agility, so we get to play the CNC. There's a world where we actually Arsenal Run Roughshod there because we would get to play it on a smaller hand, but we're at 4. Enigma is not going to force us to block anything. We will just go to 3. And now we are actually in a weird position where we need to figure out how to maximize damage. We would love to send CNC for 7 go again, which potentially catches Enigma with a handful of D-reacts that she can no longer play. But that doesn't maximize our damage from hand. We could open with Smash Instinct, then CNC, but that potentially leaves us with a bad blue for our arsenal, and it also maybe doesn't kill Enigma. I want to kill Enigma this turn, is what I'm getting at. So the actual best way to do that, to maximize my chain links and my damage, is to open the turn with Wrecker Romp, which I will never play, and you will never play 99.99% of the time. All but 1 out of 1,000 games, playing Wrecker Romp is wrong. But in this case, because we have 4 blues and need a way to give our claw go again, Wrecker Romp is actually correct. We play Wrecker Romp, we pitch any of these blues, discard the 3rd blue, then with our remaining blue, pitch to Mandible Claw and use our 2 resources to play CNC, which is going to be enough to take cards away from Enigma and kill her. I mean, we could Smash Instinct CNC, which probably wins the game, but Wrecker Romp Claw CNC definitely wins the game. It also makes a mite. Yeah, so Wrecker Romp gets 2 3-blocks and the Spectral Shield. Mandible Claw should get a 3-block or a D-React, and leaves Enigma, well, here with no cards. And CNC will be enough to get the win. Certainly a hard-fought game. A lot of things had to go right for us. I think we could have maximized our value a lot better, taken more advantage of having go again when we did have it, rather than arsenaling cards without go again and then not being able to convert large hands. But even this was a hard-fought game, and I think had things gone slightly different for Enigma, maybe if that baby manifestation comes out as grown manifestation, we are in a lot more trouble. This is not an easy matchup. I think New is the easiest of the 3 new heroes for Kayo to beat. Zen is your typical aggro race where we want to draw our good cards before they do, but Zen has a bit of a runway as he needs to transcend and potentially put cards in discard for bonds. Enigma is the strongest from the start, and I think the best at countering what Kayo is trying to do. So I'm still trying to crack this matchup. We barely got here this game. Our last game against Goofball was a pretty resounding loss, and my win rate against Enigma has not been stellar. There's certainly a learning curve for this matchup, and Enigma players are only getting better at piloting the hero. So it's a tough one. Hopefully you learned something about that matchup from this game, or at the very least enjoyed it. If so, be sure to take that like button to Pound Town. My comments are always open for any questions or feedback. If you haven't already done so, please consider dropping a YouTube subscription. It helps me out a lot. I have an X. I have a Patreon. Links to those accounts are in the video description below. But whether you visit there or not, catch me next time on more daily FaB gameplay. And until then, take care.